Alrighty, good morning everyone. We're about to feed the horses breakfast and wait for the vet to come. It's that time of the year where we have to do our vaccinations. We're gonna get all 7 horses vaccinated and checked out by my veterinarian. And then we're gonna talk about Windsor, because we all need to get closure on Windsor, on what's happening or what's not happening. So that's at the end of the video. And the good news is that my vet is coming today to discuss many of those factors that I was hoping to discuss with the vet in Virginia on the PPE, consistent with a lot of the commenters and subscribers in our group that have just this type of experience with horses throughout their history, you know? So stay tuned. Horses are coming in from the field now. So this is my garage. I actually store my horse food in here because I actually think it remains cooler in here in the summer, and I just get nervous of the food going bad all the time, so I don't put it in my shed, you know? And also, I prefer the grain not to be outside in the shed, just in case the horses do the unthinkable and they smell the grain and somehow, break into the shed. But anyways, I use a Triple Crown Complete plus a 30% ration balancer. And a subscriber recommended I mix the grain with water, so I do that now. And of course, I have my gym here too. It looks clean today. It's not always this clean, to be honest. Patty cake! Come on! Come on, patty cake! As you can see, Patriot and I are so connected. Whenever she sees me, she just gallops after me. But anyways, I typically separate Patriot, my filly, from Reese, my little pony, because Reese he's in charge of Patriot at this moment, and I don't want Reese, robbing her food, because we have to be careful of what Reese eats. He's a little pony. And here's the big herd. They know what's coming next. They're about to be let in to eat too, so they're super stoked. And although I'm only feeding 5 horses in this paddock, I actually set up 7 buckets and I just distribute the feed evenly, so the horses have access to 7 buckets. It's the same amount of feed, but they just don't fight. And I prefer the grain to be up high, a little bit higher, so they don't kick it over and then they just engulf dirt, because you never want horses to engulf dirt. I know people say not to feed them up high, but I have never had an issue with it, and I think because the food is also wet. Alrighty, here comes the fun part. Opening the gate and just watching the herd gallop in for the food. Javelin usually wins. Sarge is up there. Janana's up there. Maverick's up there. Prince is usually last. If I was a betting person, I would say Javelin's gonna come first through that gate. She's our alpha, and I think Secret Area may have some competition with Javelin. So here's my 5-year-old Clydesdale Sargy boy. Here's Javelin, which is Patriot's mom. And then next to Javelin, we have Maverick. Maverick is 3.5. Next we have Prince. He's 6 months older than Maverick's. He's just over 4. And then we have Janana Girl, who's also 6. And there's Princey boy again. Good morning, Prince. Good morning, Janana. So this is my approach to kind of distracting Reese while I feed Patriot. So I just give Reese a little bit of grain. Not grain, it's a balancer in the bucket. It's just a handful because he really can't have too much food. And then I always bring Patriot in the yard. It's kind of fun. She literally chases me anywhere I go. So in the yard, and then she can eat in peace. And lately I've been bringing Patriot to eat in the yard around the big horses, just so she can kind of get used to eating next to them as part of the whole integration process. I actually delivered Patriot, which I've told you before, so I was there for the critical window time, and the imprinting is just undeniably true. We have a forever bond, and Patriot and I are very close. And here are my emus. Here are my peacocks, my chickens, and my guineas. And then here are my emus, Rex and Ema. They are hilarious. It's never a dull moment around here with these guys. So the fat's almost here, and it's time to put up Patriot and the other horses and get their halters on, and it's vaccination time. He's good about his vaccines.
Yeah.
So what's little Reese's getting?
Rabies and the EWQ West Nile flu rhino combo. Oh boy. Oh, yeah, I know you're gonna live through having your temperature taken. Rabies. Hi, you.
She's getting huge, isn't she?
Mm-hmm. Boy, Reese. Listen.
And then what do you check for now?
Just heart and lungs. Make sure he sounds good. No eating my watch. Good boy.
So how many beats per minute does it have to be?
He's at about 38, which is pretty normal.
Cool.
Oh, buddy.
That's fine. So the first thing you did was what? His temperature?
Temperature, yep.
And what should that be?
99 to 101.
And he's normal in range?
Yeah, he's normal.
Good. Yeah, he's been pretty low maintenance.
Yeah. Oh, baby.
He does get his...
Raise. You're almost done. All done. Stop.
We're done?
It's over. You live.
You survive, baby.
Yeah.
He does get his grazing muzzle off a lot, but... I mean, his feet are never hot or anything.
Right. He's a little chubby.
A little chubby, yeah.
Yeah. Not too bad, but
Gotta watch
definitely.
it. Keep it on as much as possible.
Yep. Yeah, some of them are very good at removing it.
I think he knows how to get my dog to get it off of him. Because he's smart. You did it, baby.
Yeah.
She's gotten huge.
Yeah. Fine.
Sometimes when she's in the field, I'm like, is that Javelin in her stall? Because she looks so much like
Right, yeah.
Javelin. You're next, handsome boy. Come on. Which is...
EWQ West Nile Blue Rhino. Oh, baby.
And we already checked his... We already had Coggins not too long ago, so he's good.
Yeah. I think his is good until springtime.
Good boy, Prince. You getting your temperature down?
Yeah.
Thank you, Patriot.
No, you're a good egg.
Can you get clear entry?
Good boy.
How was he?
He's good. You're normal, aren't you, Princey? Is mugging for treats.
Yeah. Oh, he did it already?
Yeah.
Wow. That's good when I don't even notice.
Yep.
What is this one called again?
It's his EWT, tetanus, West Nile, and flu rhino.
Right.
All done.
Thank you, Princey. You're next, Sarge. Good boy. Ooh. Did she just poop?
Yeah.
Oh, I just cleaned the stalls.
That's hard. Prince. Don't need help from any of you. Oh boy.
He's so good, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, baby.
Heartbeat count. What would it indicate if they were high? If there was like, what would be, like, if their heartbeat was in abnormal range? What would that indicate?
Usually that they're in pain or dehydrated.
Interesting. So sensitive towards flows. Good boy.
Oh, Bob. Oh. Be brave. All done.
We're done.
All done.
Yeah, the same as Prince.
Yep.
Good girl, Maverick.
Good girl.
Yeah, she's the tallest, I think. Her back's so high, right?
Yeah. I believe it. Good girl.
What was her temp?
99.7.
Good girl.
Oh, baby. Hi.
Stay, baby. Bless you. Bless you.
Oh, man. Oh, good girl.
Good girl, Maverick. You're so.
One more.
You're so.
Oh, baby girl. Well done. Good job.
Oh, done?
Yep.
Good girl, Maverick. You're fantastic. Javelin, you're next. We may have to go around to get into her stall
Okay.
because her and Sarge got into it.
Okay.
I gotta replace the bait. She knows I have the tricks.
Yep. Hey, sweetheart. No, I'm just gonna listen to her.
Oh shit.
You go back in your own stall. Stop, girlfriend. Her chain.
Oh, I have a chain. You better be good.
What if you would have? You had it, and then you have the end through the halter so it doesn't slide off. Yep. Yeah.
How do you keep it on? Do you do it
Just
another?
pull it tight.
Do you twist under just like that?
Yep, just pull down. Yep, or just pull down tight on it like you would a chain lead. Don't do it, girlfriend. Good girl. Good girl. All over. But she is learning.
Janette's just spin at us
Yep.
out of fear.
Good girl. No.
She's
You're
really
just a scaredy cat.
I wonder
You're
if
also kind of fat.
she's kind of fat right now.
Kind of fat. Kind of a lot of fat. Oh, sweetheart. Pull her up a step with you.
I didn't really rub it.
Girl, you're fine. You're fine. Good mama. Hi, Jacqueline. Now you want to be
Now
friends?
she wants to cuddle.
Be brave. Be brave. Yeah. Her problem is getting scared.
It's major improvement, right?
Yep. Oh,
When is the next time you think they're getting vaccination?
midwinter.
I did notice that she gained some weight.
Yeah. How
And
much grain she'd been getting?
She has half a scoop of the balancer
Okay.
and then a quarter of a scoop of the triple crown complete. Not much.
No, but when you've got the fields that are this big,
With-
grass, especially if you're not working her real hard.
She's gotten fat, right?
Yep. Cut her down to minimal amount of balancer that it says. Just enough of the balancer to meet her mineral needs. Well, even once the grass quits growing, you've got so much of it.
Yep.
I mean, she might need a grazing muzzle for a while. First, I'm selling her order of exercise.
Yep. I can start poning her again.
Around
Lunging.
her.
That's a good idea. I do love doing lunging with her.
Yeah.
She enjoys it too.
Yeah.
As many of you know, I did have the PPE scheduled for Windsor today with the vet in Virginia, but I was unable to get in contact with the seller of the horse this weekend, so I wasn't able to go out and see him on Saturday and see his training and just kind of like look more about his movement and his legs. So I canceled the PPE. The vet actually messaged me late last night and we canceled the PPE. It worked out better, to be honest, because my home vet came and we did vaccinations on all our horses. I also showed my vet the video of Windsor, and we kind of did talk about like the DSLD, which is a degenerative suspensory ligament disease, and it's something that you can't cure. It's not like a trauma or an injury where you can cure this. It's something that's progresses and the horse is in deliberating pain. I did think at first maybe the fetlocks were kind of throwing me, the feathers on the fetlock was kind of throwing me off, optimistically, and I spoke about that with my vet, maybe it's just the feathers, but she made a good point. She's like, Sarge and Prince both have feathers, and their fetlocks don't drop when they're walking at all. But if you look at the video of Windsor, clearly his like back fetlocks are dropping, and that's what a lot of commenters did say from the very beginning. I just was optimistically wanted it to be his feathers that was kind of highlighting the illusion of a drop, and so they actually do look like they were dropped, unfortunately, and it wasn't a result of just like the feathers. Prince, what are you doing, baby? Part of DSLD, not that he has it, I'm not, you know, giving him that label, who knows, right? But for horses that do have DSLD, they do get those straight stifles and fetlocks. I'm not labeling this horse as having DSLD, but part of having DSLD, a symptom is that you do have straight hocks and stifles. A bunch of you commenters on the page noticed that they were significantly straight. I really was optimistically hoping it was due to the muscle that he's lacking, but I think it's something more serious, unfortunately. So I think many of the commenters were right on that. This was a learning opportunity for me. But also, like, clearly he does have muscle like atrophy or wasting, and that is a sign of having DSLD too, you know. And not that this horse has DSLD, we don't know the situation. Hopefully it is just a trauma or an injury, or maybe it's nothing. Those are clear signs or indicators of potentially having DSLD. Many of the users did say that like they thought he had DSLD in the back, which would make sense because 90% of DSLD is in the horse's hind legs, are in the back. Not only 10% is in the front. You giving me a massage, Prince? Thank you. I love you. And a good point too is that since he's 8 years old, I know someone said, you know, he looks older than 8, but premature aging is also a sign of DSLD. So maybe he is 8, but prematurely looks older due to having DSLD. And we don't know if he does, but you know, there are indications here, right? So we have to discuss them. To me, the worst thing about DSLD is that there's no cure. It ends in euthanasia because the pain is just so excruciating. And that to me is just like so heart-wrenching. And like, I do see Windsor as being like a rescue case, you know, and I do have like a certain setup that would probably work for him if I wanted to do a rescue. The issue of rescue, like I don't do rescue. I know many channels do rescues. I don't have the funds at the moment to do rescues. I have the property to do rescues. I have the time and I have the love for the horses, but I don't think I could absorb the vet bills on rescue horses at this time. I just don't. And then I wouldn't want to take in a rescue horse and then have to, you know, not get them the care that they need because I just don't have the resources available to pay for the vet care that they would need. So that's why I can't really take on a rescue horse today. But there are certain environmental factors that would help, like a horse like Windsor. For example, if he was on a large turnout, that helps him. If he has like padding in his stalls and, you know, lots of shavings, like if he is in a stall, you know, those things do help change an environment. But the more turnout that horse gets, the better. And I'm hoping that he has turnout, and the one occasion that we saw him where he was in that stall, I'm hoping that's not where he permanently resides, because that is not how he should live, or any horse. You know, my horses are in the stalls right now. It's probably been the first time in the stall in months, and that's because we just had the vet out and we did our vaccinations. There were indicators there of the DSLD. We saw like the loosening of the skin, potentially premature aging, the straightened stifles and hocks. You know, if you watch him move, it seems like the fetlocks do drop when he stops. Like if you see me trying to lunge him, I didn't see it so much at the walk, but when he stops, that's when I think like the suspensory goes down. And maybe that's why, you know, he is for sale. But again, thank you everybody for commenting on our potential first sales horse. I did want this to be a group decision. I didn't want this just to be like an impulse buy, which I had done in the past. which has worked out for me before, but I don't think that's the route to take on a sales horse, and I wanted this to be a group decision. So people brought up, you know, DSLD, the isolating a stallion and how that's really not fair to him, which I do agree with. Maybe this horse would have been incompatible with my herd. So thank you to everybody for considering my herd on this, you know, potential purchase. And DSLD is a systemic disease of the connective tissue. Think of your fetlocks as your ankles. So in DSLD horses, like their fetlocks or ankles have just dropped so low, and eventually it becomes so excruciating to the horse. It's very sad. If he does have the DSLD, you know, to me that would be more of a rescue horse situation. And if I would have bought him and that was not picked up on the PPE, or if another set of facts happened where he did come home with me that night at the auction, I likely would have just kept him on a big field and just gave him a safe landing the rest of his life, you know. That getting a rescue horse wasn't the point of going to that horse auction. It was to find my first sales horse. I don't think we discussed how much the horse was at the auction. So the horse was between 4,000 and 5,000. One couple he would sell the horse for 5,000. For me, he said I could have it for 4,000. So that was the agreed upon price. But in order for that to go through, I needed to see him on Saturday to see what he did in his training, especially with like, is he broke? Is he not broke? Does he drive on the street? Does he only drive in the field? Like there were just certain things that we needed to get answers for. And then once that was determined, I needed him to go through that vet check. So I had all the best intentions to make that happen. In hindsight, maybe my budget being 4,000 for that horse. My budget was a little bit more, to be honest, but maybe having a $4,000 budget, we have to be more analytical and do more of analysis. Don't do that, Princey boy. Do more of analysis on the pros and cons and the red flags. And that's why I'm really thankful for the members in our group for sharing your opinion on him. I know he did touch many of our hearts. And if the guy does contact me, I probably would drive out there, to be honest, and just let him know I would not purchase this horse due to the factors that we've discussed. Maybe he's disposition to DSLD, maybe he doesn't, but I would take him off his hands for free if I could somehow allocate certain resources to pay for the management of DSLD before the pain was too excruciating. Before the pain was just too before the pain was too excruciating to where we would have to do the last act of kindness. But I think I would do that if as a rescue, you know, because I did really connect with him. But to spend $4,000, no, because I do think $4,000 is a significant amount of money, and maybe it can do other things with, if that was the purpose of allocating those funds to, you know, helping other horses. I don't know if it's the end of the road. It could be the beginning, but we will see, and stay tuned. Thanks everybody again for your help. I think many of our advanced members saw this from the beginning. There were signs that I did ignore because I think emotionally I did connect with him. This is something that I'm going to have to continue to monitor. All right, have a good day. Janana, you were so good on your vaccinations. You were so good, baby. You were so good. You didn't get scared. You didn't spin.